Hello Cancer, welcome to your September forecast for the year 2017. I'm Kyana Mayfield from LibraLunaCenter.com, and September is a preliminary month between the eclipse season which occurred in August with the Leo and Aquarius eclipses that occurred, and between that and October, which is the initiatory propelling force stepping into the new chapter, finally, with Jupiter moving into Scorpio on October 10th. So this is post-eclipse season. This is Virgo season. And for you, this is all happening in your third house, right? Focusing on the mind, focusing on the understanding of yourself, the final coming to terms with your voice, what your personal voice is, Cancer. As you've been somewhat in a state of being confused as to what you really believe, right? Being confused as to what is actually truth for you and what is not. And this all culminates to September 6th, which is when we have the full moon in Pisces conjuncting Neptune for you, happening in your 9th house of your beliefs and your perception of reality and your understanding of your higher self and your dreams, right? Your vision, your personal internal understanding of what you believe you want, like your personal dream system, right? And you've been playing with multiple different beliefs, as you do have Neptune and Chiron for you in your 9th house. You've been playing with multiple different beliefs. And with the nodal axis that had been here for a few years, this was for you a time of coming to terms with your personal truth, right? Coming to terms with what is real for you and what is not real for you. And it's almost as if you've been getting these reality checks, getting reality checks as far as what you actually believe in. And the last sort of remnants of this had occurred for you. Think back to February earlier this year, February 26th, which is when we had the new moon solar eclipse in Pisces for you, again in your 9th house. And this is also when we had the South Node in Pisces. So this was the last sort of chapter regarding this confusing period of what is real, what is not, what is illusion, what is fantasy, and what is real to us, right? What is truth for us? What do we believe from here on out? What do we really want? And the full moon culminates it, right? It comes to this final conclusion for you, Cancer. Having you look at the big picture, right? The bigger picture of your life, the bigger picture of the vision for your life, right? And cutting out the weeds with a stellium in your 3rd house, all in Virgo, right? Throughout most of this month, we have a lot of planets in Virgo. And you're getting down to the facts. You're getting down to the basics of what is true and what is false. And you're cutting out the weeds of the old and replacing them with seeds for the new, right? New ways of looking at your world, new ways of thinking, new ways of estimating and distinguishing the facts from the fiction, right? So this is a very intuitive, I'm feeling for you, Cancer, a very intuitive point in your life at which you are coming to complete realization and complete clarity about what is true for you. Complete clarity as far as your authentic personal voice. What you want, what you don't want. What you believe, what you don't believe. What is important to you, what is not important to you. Capricorn got a similar energy, but this is your opposite sign. So it's happening for you in a different way, in the opposite way, which is You have been living in this bubble, right? Cancer, you've been living in this bubble. I almost said Capricorn. So this may pertain to traditionalism, right? You've been living in this sort of box, Cancer, that has been inhibiting your personal voice, that has been inhibiting your personal truth, but it has been subtly influencing every decision you've made in your life up to this point. It has been subtly in the background. It's sort of an overlaying theme. It's been tinging how you see yourself and how you see your world, and it's been tinging the decisions you've made. It's been tinging the dreams you've perhaps chased after, right? And now in this state of being in the Virgo season, right, you can see every route that you've taken up to this point. You can look at it from the grand point of view. You can look at where the roads lead to Rome and where they do not, what leads you home and what does not. And this is the nitpicking. This is a very nitpicky time in your life to get ultimately clear where you have been confused, where you have been in this state of fogginess, of uncertainty, of grandiose visions, but perhaps very little practicality, right? And you're changing that. You're flipping the script now. This is the flipping the script month for you, as you put everything in its proper perspective. And this all culminates to the new moon in Virgo, which is happening on September 19th. The new moon in Virgo happening for you in your third house, and it will be opposing Chiron, this wound, this unconscious motivation to stay in the dream world, to stay in the bubble, to stay in the grandiose vision without putting it into practicality, without making it physicalized, without making it an absolute certainty and truth for you, right? This new moon in Virgo is having you heal your mind, Cancer. Heal your perception, heal your thoughts, and instilling new thoughts, new intentions, and ultimately helping you proclaim your truth, to take the reins of your truth, right? And to announce it to the world, to announce what is true for you to the world, making it very public, right? With absolute certainty, absolute clarity. This is all about becoming to terms with your stuff, right? Whatever your stuff is you've been having Jupiter, and this is the last month Jupiter will be in Libra, mind you. You've been having Jupiter in your fourth house at the bottom of your chart, which is your natural house, the fourth house. And this has been dredging up all of the emotions, right? All of the emotions that perhaps you like to hide from yourself even. And this new moon is having you look at yourself point blank, honestly and clearly and authentically, right? There's a sort of genuity to this new moon in the sense that you are getting to know yourself in ways that you've never known yourself, that you've never seen yourself before, in light of how you've never seen yourself before, right? With absolute clarity. Seeing yourself, seeing your life with absolute clarity, without confusion, without vagueness, without fogginess, without doubts. There's this coming out with personal truth for you, Cancer. That is the main theme of this month. And you're putting yourself directly into the line of fire to be able to embrace that truth head on, right? For what it is, facts and figures and all. The purity of your voice. And this is setting into motion a whole new cycle, a whole new way of speaking your mind, a whole new way of communicating with those around you, perhaps, but just in general, how you spread your message, how you get your point across, as you find what's important to you, as you find what your truth is. You have to be able to have the skills necessary to be able to communicate what that truth is, right? You have to transfer it over to those around you so that they may understand and be able to relate to you, to connect with you in a new way, as you do have Pluto in your 7th house, which is the constructing of relationships, or the power, the uprising of relationships, right? And this is all culminating again to a very powerful conversation happening in the sky on September 28th this month. And it is Jupiter opposing Uranus, exact. Jupiter in Libra at the bottom of your chart, in the 4th house, opposing Uranus in Aries, retrograde at the top of your chart. And at the same time as this happens, Pluto will be coming direct, where it has been stationed retrograde since April earlier this year. And Cancer. This is a marking point for you. This is, for all cardinal signs, this is having a very crucial conversation in all of their charts, because this is happening in cardinal signs, right? But this particular transit, Jupiter opposing Uranus and Pluto coming direct, is the final definition of what you are, the final definition of what you will become, of what is crucial to the nurturing of who you are, to the nurturing of this new potential self that you are stepping into with Jupiter at the bottom half of your chart. And there is a need to become completely open, completely authentic, completely transparent, completely honest with yourself and with everyone around you about what you need, right? What you need. Before we get to Jupiter in Scorpio, which is coming for you in your 5th house of love, of romance, of the authentic opening of the heart chakra, right? Before we get to that point, we want to come completely honest and completely open and clear about what is going on beneath the surface of Cancer, right? What emotions are boiling beneath the surface. Where you have been, wherever you felt restricted, that all needs to come out the window, right? That all needs to be cut, right? Because the only way to nurture the deep relationships, the deep amount of love that you're looking to cultivate in your life, first and foremost, it comes down to self-love. And that comes down to self-acknowledgement of what's going on within you, of what's happening within you, of what you feel, of what you need, and the openness and the authenticity and the freedom to be able to express whatever that is with Uranus at the top of your chart, right? You can't live in a box anymore. You can't afford to live in a box anymore. The only way to be happy here, the only way to create the level of depth and clarity in your life that you want, and to change your life forever with Uranus at the top of your chart, changing your reputation, even changing how people see you, changing your career, changing your life path, getting on the highest path available and open to you, right? The only way to get on the highest path available to you is to step into the fire. Is to step into the fire of being completely open, completely honest, and completely transparent. And this may or may not be easy for many of you, right? Because Cancer is known as the crab, and the crab is known for being withdrawn, in the sense that you're comfortable in the shell, right? You're comfortable at home. You're comfortable in your security blanket and your security net, right? but the new form of security, the only form of security, the only security you will ever have, Cancer, is the acknowledgement of the self, is the acknowledgement of what's true for you, is the acknowledgement of your personal desires, your personal wishes, your personal dreams, and what you love. Your self-love, first and foremost. The acknowledgement and the proclamation of your self-love to the rest of the world. And as you come to this connection deep within yourself, as you come to this depth, this clarity of just how deep it all goes, just how deep it all goes for you. This translates to your relationships, right? And these relationships, with Pluto moving direct in your relationship house, these relationships either support this new level, this new foundation of self, or they hinder you. And if they hinder you, they're going to be deconstructed now. Nothing can afford to be, nothing can afford to take your energy away, Cancer. Nothing can afford to take your power away from you. Because this is all about, especially with the nodal axis now happening, transiting your 2nd and your 8th for the next year now. This is all about the acknowledgement of a whole new level of confidence, right? A whole new way of supporting yourself without needing necessarily others' approval. Being able to not only financially support yourself, but emotionally, right? Mentally, spiritually, sustaining your energy in the long term. And the only way for this to be sustained in the long term is for you to know your emotions, not just to feel your emotions and to ride them out as they go like a wave. That's easy for you to do. You're a water sign. It's not just enough to feel your emotions. You have to know your emotions. And this month is all about knowing your emotions, because as you know your emotions, you get to know yourself. You get to know the depth of the innermost core of who you are, of the innermost essence of who you are, without all of the other stuff that may or may not contribute to that, right? That gets in the way as you get lost in the open sea of emotions. Don't get lost in the sea of emotions as you feel your way through it, but to know what is you, always and forever, at the core of it all. That never ever gets swayed, right? This is the point of emotional polarization, right? And it's making that connection with yourself. It's creating that level of intimacy with yourself, Cancer, that you create intimacy with everything and everyone around you. So thank you very much for watching, Cancer. Be sure to check out your sun, your moon, and your rising/ascendant sign. I will be back pretty soon with the October horoscopes, as I know these September horoscopes are extremely late, and I'm very sorry for that. But hopefully October will be much, much quicker. And yes, check out your moon, your sun, your moon, your rising/ascendant sign, as well as any stelliums you may have. So let's say 4 or more planets in a particular sign. You may want to check out that video, as well as it may contain information that is more relevant to your personal natal chart. And of course, listen to your intuition above and beyond all, because this is your internal GPS. This is the only advice you must come to terms with, first and foremost, right? Your own internal voice. And if you would like a personal reading with me, I do have links in the description for you to be able to do so. And again, thank you very much for watching, Cancer. I will see you all in October next month, and have a wonderful September.